Hello, beautiful babes in bookland. My name is Michelle, and welcome to Challenge Thy Shelf. So today I'm going to be doing the New York Times by the book tag. So this is a very old tag that's been circulating on BookTube for at least a few years. But as you come to know me, you'll find that I am chronically late to the party, and this is not behavior that's going to go away anytime soon. So with that, on with the books. Question 1, what is on your nightstand right now? So I've got two books that I'm reading right now. One is Beasts of Extraordinary Circumstance by Ruth Emmy Lang, and the second book that I have is We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler. Question number 2, what was the last truly great book that you read? For this selection, I had to go with Uzumaki by Junji Ito. Junji Ito is a Japanese graphic novelist, manga artist who basically did a love letter, his version, his cover of Shadow of Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft. And a lot of people have done covers of that story before, one of the most famous being a creepy little tale we like to call The Mist by Stephen King. But what I really love about this book is that he took this story and he made it so much his own and made it very special and made it very personal and made it creepy as hell. So if you guys are interested in horror, I would highly recommend this book, mostly just because the art is so beautiful. He also illustrated the book himself. Not only did it change the way that comic books and graphic novels were being illustrated and the way those stories were being told, but I do believe that it had such a wider impact on the horror genre as a whole. Third question, if you could meet any writer, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you want to know? So these questions are always really hard, but I had to go, it was a debate between two people. It was a debate between Charles Bukowski and Susan Sontag. Ultimately, old Hank went out in the end, and my question to him would be, knowing what you know, would you do it all again? Question number 4, what books might you be surprised to find on my shelf? Well, since you guys don't know me or my reading tastes or anything about me, I guess the thing that people are most surprised to find on my shelves are anatomy and physiology books, medical dictionaries, medical reference books, books about disease, pathophysiology, things like that. And while it is a hobby, most of it is just for my work. Number 5, how do you organize your personal library? Because I lack imagination and I like to know where my shit is, alphabetically. I do have a shelf that is fiction and nonfiction books. I have a dedicated shelf to reference books and science books and just art books, and then I have a shelf that is dedicated to graphic novels and comics. Number 6, what book have you always meant to read and haven't gotten around to? Is there anything you feel embarrassed to not have read? I don't necessarily feel embarrassed to not have read this book, but something I have been meaning to get around to for a while is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Now, this book, I wouldn't say I'm behind on classics, but I definitely need to fill in some major gaps in my classic reading. So I found this really beautiful edition at Barnes & Noble. I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little intimidated by the size, but I think that this is definitely something I will get to this year, so not the last time you'll be seeing that little beauty. Number 7, disappointing, overrated, just not good. What book did you feel like you were supposed to like and didn't? Do you remember what book you put down without finishing? The book I feel like I was supposed to like is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. Now, I don't want to say too much about this because I do plan on doing some sort of extended discussion on this book and why I didn't necessarily gravitate to it. I really wanted to like it. I really did. But I just didn't. And the book that I remember setting down and not finishing was White Teeth by Zadie Smith. This was not due to any particular problem or any issue that I had with the writing or with the story. I think at the time I just had some things coming in that I was a little bit more excited to read, and poor old Zadie just got pushed to the wayside, so eventually I'll get around to reading it. Number 8. What are the kinds of stories you are drawn to, and what stories do you steer clear of? The sort of stories that I'm drawn to are really stories that have a character that is morally gray. Somebody who you don't necessarily know if you should hate or if you should root for and love. I also really like stories of all kinds, of all genres, that just punch you in the gut. Stories that rip your heart out and your soul out and kick it around on the ground for a while. Stories that kind of hold a mirror up to your face and show you what a dirtbag you are and what an asshole you are, but then build some camaraderie for being a dirtbag and an asshole. Stories that I tend to steer clear from are mostly just really overdone tropes. I don't like terrible redos of books. I get a little bit tired of formulas that are used again and again and again in books. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, but these are generally things that just kind of make me go, meh. Question number 9. If you could require the president to read one book, what would it be? Now, I really liked Liv at the Book Nook's answer for this. Her reply was a dictionary. Damn it, Liv. Such a good answer. But I think for me, I would probably have to recommend something more in the area of A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn or Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. I don't think it's ever harmful or hurtful to just drop some perspective into the lap of a person who oftentimes is blithely unaware of the world that he might be living in. And question number 10 is, what do you plan on reading next? So with the aforementioned books in question 1, once I get done with those, I do plan on reading My Absolute Darling by Gabriel Talent. Speaking of stories that'll rip your heart and soul out and kick it around on the ground for a while. So that was the New York Times by the book tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're interested, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Please comment down in the comment section below if there's anything that you have seen today that you've read, that you've loved. If you want to try to change my mind about some of these books, I'm always open to that too. But yeah, I hope you guys have a really great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.